Hello everyone. For today's video, we're going to be hiking back to the parking area via the Trillium Gap Trail. I'll go over the details and specifics of this hike in just a few minutes, but this is the third and final video in my 2022 Hike to Mount LeConte series. We're looking at doing about 6.6 miles, I think, or no, 6.2 miles to where the Trillium Gap parking area is, and then that parking area is closed, and I'm also not parked there. So we've got to hike an additional 2 to 2.5 miles, either the road or the rest of the Trillium Gap Trail, which actually connects to the Grotto Falls Trail, which is the area where I'm parked. So I'm gonna hit the bathroom, have a glass of water, and hit the trail. See you in just a minute. Alright, so we're officially on the Trillium Gap Trail. I wanted to do this trail because I just wanted to have the opportunity to do a different trail going back versus coming in. And I noticed whenever I started Rainbow Falls Trail yesterday that the Trillium Gap Trail actually intersects with it. But the gentleman at the check-in office there suggested that it may be easier if you just walk the road. So we're going to kind of weigh our options as far as that, and haven't really decided what I'm going to do yet, but I'm just going to think about that some more and then see how the trail conditions are and everything. I'm seeing there's some ice I'm going to have to navigate around right here already, which Rainbow Falls is the same way up here at the top, so that's just about to be expected. So I'm going to continue on, get back up in just a little bit. So another reason I chose this trail is because this is a trail that the llamas go up and down to transport supplies to the lodge. And I'm not choosing it because I'm in hopes of passing the llamas somewhere, because I don't think that that'll be going on today. But in my mind, if the terrain on the trail is smooth enough for the llamas, you know, that kind of tells me that it may be the smoother one, and it's definitely less steep, I believe, because I think the climb is 3,200 feet, which I won't be doing because I'm descending, but the climb's 3,200 feet spread out over a little over 6 miles. And to give you some idea, yesterday when I did Rainbow, it was a 4,000 foot climb over about exactly 6.5 miles, 6.6 to be exact. So I'm thinking that it may be less rocky. I kind of expected to see a lot of how it is now, but maybe less boulders and larger rocks to climb over, which are just easier on my feet. My right leg's still a little sore from yesterday's hike, but so hopefully this will be a good one. And also looking forward to seeing Grotto Falls, which I think I had a failed attempt several years ago. We had started that trail and then it started raining and we had to turn back, so we weren't able to see it. So it'll be pretty cool to have seen Rainbow Falls yesterday and then Grotto Falls today. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I come across a section here with cables. Maybe that's to assist the llamas, and they've got kind of a built-up ledge right here. This cabling keeps going for a pretty good while. Maybe they harness them on that somehow. I'm not real sure why that's there. There were not any cables at all on the Rainbow Falls Trail. There are some on the Alum Cave Trail at some of the drop-off sections, but on this one, also coming up a very impressive display of ice right here. Wow. Holy cow, this is a whole 40 or 50 foot section of this. Luckily, it's not really much of it on the trail. Wow. There's a little bit on the trail, just a spot, but that's it. So it's probably hard for you to make it out, but as I'm going along this section of the trail here, the towns like Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and all that are over there to the left. Gatlinburg is just down there, kind of center screen. So this side here is kind of exposed. You can see through the trees because there's no foliage on them yet, but yeah. So I know there's going to be some switchbacks and zigzags here and there, but for the foreseeable future, the towns are down there to the left. I'm already feeling cold. The wind was supposed to be not as fierce today, but definitely starting out was worse. I'm still at the top too, so you know, as if I can knock about half the miles out on this trail, we'll probably get down to where it may be 5 to 10 degrees warmer and hopefully less wind. I'm always okay handling the cold, really doesn't matter how cold it is, but when you add wind to it, it really just changes things. My hands and face get cold. I've actually got the thumbs cut out of these gloves that I'm wearing, which make it to where I can handle things better, but I should have used my other gloves for this hike. But we'll see. We'll be down further in no time. Definitely a single file trail. At least so far. Got some good sunlight on us now. Maybe to help warm me up. I'm not expecting to see many people at all. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see anyone on this trail, given that parking area specifically for this trail is closed, even though it intersects. But to do the intersection, it adds the 2 to 2.5 miles, which most people are not going to do when they're ascending. Maybe they'll consider it coming back, possibly, but not when they're going up. Alright, so we're kind of changing directions now, so we won't see the town to the left anymore. And to see a view of the mountains. When there's not vegetation blocking it. I'm also seeing a lot more conifer trees going this direction too, which smell really nice. Got past all the ice from earlier. There's actually more ice in the sections that I passed just a minute ago than there was on the Rainbow Falls Trail yesterday. Here's a little bit more now. From here on out, it's probably just gonna be patches, but it was a pretty long stretch of it there for a good 5 or 10 minutes. Just kind of took my time and worked my way around it. I'm around 2 miles down now. Coming up on the section where we're kind of ascending a little bit. Hopefully this is not something that's going to last long. So I was thinking that we'd be descending almost the entire time, but it's just a few short stretches of it. It'll be okay. I guess it's going to be okay either way. I'm already 2 miles in, so I'm committed to it now. Got another ice section coming up. Some just fell on the ground here. See some water dripping off of it, actually. Going around the mountain now. Down and around. So I'm surprised, but I actually hear a person. Sounds like they're walking towards me, coming up the trail. I hear a couple people talking. Honestly surprised to see anyone, given the circumstances I had explained to you earlier. Three guys actually. Approaching a little waterfall right here. This is not Grotto Falls, by the way. The rocks are just covered in moss. It goes on up through there. Pretty low flow right now, but there is some ice on it too. Trail goes that way. Coming up on another small waterfall, also not grotto, but it does have a little more flow on it, and some ice too. It actually continues to go on down there. I'm wondering if this could possibly be leading to grotto. We're gonna find out soon enough. I'm now entering a much younger and less vegetated section of the forest. Kind of see the towns in the distance on that way, that side, and eventually when this bottoms out we'll be able to see some of the other surrounding peaks on the right side. Did pass one other guy, so I've seen one group of 3 people and then one guy that was solo hiking like me. He seemed like he was kind of concerned about ice. There has been a lot more ice on this trail than Rainbow Falls. Probably won't see a whole lot more of it because I made it down so far, but it was pretty easy to kind of get around. I didn't really film much of it because I was trying to stay focused, but it was pretty easy to step around most of it. There's just quite a bit of it. Also coming up on some, I don't know if it's a trail junction or a side spur or what this is, but coming up on a sign here. Do have an intersection of some kind. Let's see what we see. Oh, this is a brushy mountain trail. Someone mentioned that to me when I was up there yesterday. Porter's Creek Trail 4.5, Greenbrier Cove Road 5.5. So we're just going to continue to go straight here. Mount LeConte. So we covered 3.6 miles so far. So looks like we may go uphill just for a minute, but I'm gonna actually take a drink of water right here first. So correction on the last clip, we're going to go left right here at this junction. We're not going to go straight. If you go straight, that takes you to Brushy Mountain, just 0.2 miles. There may be an overlook of some kind there. I'm really not sure, but I'm going to stay on pace to continue the direction I'm going. So we've got 2.8 miles to get to the road if we decide to road walk the rest, or 5.2 miles to where it connects to Rainbow Falls Trail. Still kind of debating on what I want to do, but continuing on this way. So the terrain of the trail since the intersection back there has gotten much more rugged, rocky, a lot of tree roots, giant rocks. A little rough on the feet. There's an enormous rock wall right here too. Just to the left of the trail. It's definitely getting a little warmer for me now. Fixing to take off my hat and maybe one of my jackets. I would guess we're probably in the mid 40s right here where I'm at now. And there's no breeze on me either. So, doesn't bother me at all because it's been in the 20s up there at the top where I've been. And then for a good, couple of miles hiking back. And it was even cooler than that at night. And then much worse with the wind chill factored in too. Could be as low as the teens, single digit wind chills. Moving on. So I'm walking directly towards a waterfall now, which I believe is Grotto Falls. Pretty sure this is it. Looks pretty cool. This is definitely it. You need to walk behind it. I think I'm going to take a break here. Guess this is the way you can go to get to the top, maybe? I'm not real sure. I'm not going to do that, but wow. Ready to walk behind it. It's gonna be a little wet. A little bit of ice behind there. So each time the llamas transport goods and products up to the lodge, they go right behind here every time. No way around it, I don't think. And they go right up through there, back on the trail. This is the final shot of it. I like this one so much, I would probably come here just to hike to this waterfall and then turn back. I don't think I'd hike this trail again. This is kind of a one and done one for me. But I would hike to this waterfall and back, which I think is under 2 miles from where I'm at here now. Back to the parking area, so I have to remember this one. On we go. Got to get past some mud. You can't really get a good shot of it, but there's another little small waterfall right here. Not sure if we'll get a good angle of it or not, but I'm kind of standing just to the side of it. And Grotto Falls is back up that way, center screen. Not really the best lighting, but it's right there in the middle of the screen. Kind of back away from it a little bit too. So I'm hiking along more of a worn path now. I imagine this is the start of the trail from the parking area to Grotto Falls. When the parking lot's open, it's pretty heavily trafficked, so this section of it's much wider and flatter and more well worn. We also have a little creek crossing right here too. Giant boulders here help you along the way. Pretty nice through here. It's flat and easy going at the moment too. Coming up on another mini waterfall. And creek crossing. A little small cascade continues to go that way. All right, so I've got here to the trail intersection. The parking area will be that way for the first parking area for Trillium Gap, which I believe is the one that's closed. So I'm assuming that people are going there and then walking up to the next one, which is kind of in between there and where I'm parked at. But I think what I'm going to do is just continue on Trillium Gap to where it meets Rainbow Falls, which will be getting very close to where I parked at. I've decided to not go to the road here and walk along the road. I just think it'd be more enjoyable to stick to the trail, and I don't really see much, elevation gain, or I don't see the terrain being too bad, so I think I'm going to stick with the trail. So I didn't realize how close this road was going to be. I'm just literally right here to the side of me. Still probably going to stay on the trail, but it is right there. So people parking at a parking area that's in the direction I'm going, and then they're walking up and hitting the intersection back there. All right, so I've got about 7/10 of a mile left before I get to where I park my vehicle. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Overall, I think I made a good decision descending Trillium Gap. It got rocky in places, but it was much easier on my feet than the Rainbow Falls trail was. And I got to see the other waterfall and do one of the other trails. So now I've hiked, even though I didn't ascend Trillium, I have hiked 3 of the trails that go up there to the summit of LeConte. So that's one more checked off my list. I will say that it was not as scenic as Rainbow, and it's definitely not as scenic as Hallam Cave. Hallam Cave being the most popular one. Is a lot of trail traffic going to and from that trail to the top. But all in all, it's a pretty good day. It's very cold when I started at the top, and right now I guess it's somewhere in the high 40s, maybe close to 50. I'm basically just kind of at the base of Mount LeConte now, in a sense. But be sure to check out the other videos This video will be posted after them, so if you just happen to see this one only, the video for the grounds and cabin tour should already be on the channel, and the hike up Rainbow Falls to the LeConte summit is also on the channel. So feel free to check those out if you want to, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please consider subscribing if you haven't. Those two things are totally free, won't cost you anything. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. So one more thing I wanted to add, and I just forgot about it. I did want to say, if you go up or come back Trillium Gap, and the main parking area for Trillium Gap is closed, it does add the additional, I think it was 2.3 miles. So this is going to be, coming back is going to be about exactly 9 miles. And then yesterday was around 6.6 miles. So got a good, and then I went to Cliff Tops twice, I think. So I got a good around 16 miles total, going up Rainbow and descending Trillium Gap, and then going to the lookouts a couple times. So just wanted to throw that statistic in there in case you were wondering how long it was. And I will include a link in the description for Trillium Gap. That's all.